Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to Latvian Shipping Company First Quarter 2016 Investor Conference webinar. Today we are hosted by two Latvian Shipping Company representatives, advisor to the Chairman of the Management Board, Ģirts Apsītis, and Financial Director, Spūle. Before we start with the presentation, a short reminder about the agenda of the webinar. Firstly, we will have a presentation about Latvian Shipping Company Group performance in the first quarter 2016, and then we will proceed with the questions and answers session. I invite you to use the chat question box on the right side of the screen to send in questions. All questions will be addressed after the presentation. Santa, I invite you to start with the presentation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, Eva. Me and Ģirts, my colleague, we are invited here today to present the financial performance and other activities of Latvian Shipping Company Group during first quarter of this year. The total revenues of the Latvian Shipping Company Group in first quarter 2016 was $25 million, which is by $3 million more than in last year the same period. The improvement was mainly due to higher net voyage result that amounted to nearly $23 million in comparison to 19 in Q1 2015. The better net voyage result has been achieved through higher time charter rates prevailing in first quarter of this year. The improvement in comparable periods have been seen in both sectors of the fleet, medium range and handy-size vessels, while in comparison to last quarter of the year, the upward trend started in Q1 2015 in time charter rates declined and was at the same level. The group continues to generate cash from operating activities at the level which allows to fulfill obligations to banking syndicate. In addition to commercial activities in Q1 2016, the group has received cash for loan notes received in 2014 in amount of 14.6 million euros. In more representation currency, it is dollars, it's nearly to $16 million. The group used these funds received for the loan note for partial repayment of the loans due its major shareholder, Ventspils Nafta, and thus decreasing its long-term liabilities by 16 million. The group EBITDA demonstrates stable improvement and reflects higher time charter rates achieved this year in comparison to previous reporting periods. An important element to the said improvement is the decrease of overheads, where previously one of significant components, if you can't remember, these were legal costs which are continuing to reduce after the partial settlement concluded last year by our management and previous management of the companies. The group net profit in first quarter 2016 was 4 million, being higher for $1 million than in the same period last year. And I would like to highlight that there was no fleet impairments recognized in this quarter, in contrast with last year first quarter where impairments were 2 million. However, the group's profit has been negatively impacted by USD-Euro exchange rate fluctuations, an amount of 3 million loss arising from the euro-denominated loan note. In relation to fleet financing, as you have heard previously, financing agreements are two facilities are in place for Latvian Shipping Company's fleet financing, and the biggest one, 360 million, we call that loan, matures in June next year, while the smallest one, 48 million loan, matures already in July this year. And there was three alternatives to ensure enough funds to settle the said obligations. The first one was capital raising, which unfortunately has not been supported by sufficient percentage of shareholders. And the second alternative is a sale of vessels, but the LSC group management is confident that the refinancing will be possible, and therefore there has been resolved to extend the smallest facility to June 2018 and to refinance as well the big facility next year from June 2017. So basically, this is a summary of first quarter results, and I'm passing the microphone to Ģirts to tell other activities of the group. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Thank you for listening. I will start with a brief update about the fleet. We do not expect changes in LSC fleet this year, so we will have 12 medium-range tankers with average age already 8 years and 4 handy-sized tankers with average age 9 years. But we are proud that our fleet under technical management is growing, and we are currently managing, of course, our 16 owned vessels and already 7 tankers which are owned by third parties. And we received the latest edition, Elendra Oak, on May 16. We are actively negotiating with other third-party ship owners, and we are confident that our technical management team can manage up to 40 vessels fleet using current resources. As you see from our time charter rates that we had a good first quarter. That's because record low oil prices stipulates consumption of oil products, and that also causes demand for our services. Especially in two largest world economies, United States and China, we see that consumption is growing, but that was a fact in last quarter of 2014 and first quarter of 2015. What we see right now is that market is softening, and as you can see from this next slide, that market rates are going down. And if we compare last year December data with actual data, we can see significant drop in market rates. And there are two main reasons. One is that, as I already mentioned, its growth for refined products, it's weakening right now, because world cannot simply consume all the products which are being produced. It's too much oil in the world. And the second reason, which is I would say more serious for us, is that more and more vessel newbuilds are coming into the market, and we can see that currently about 14% of existing medium-range tanker fleet is under the order book, and from this approximately 9% will be delivered this year. So it means that more modern, more fuel-safe eco ships are coming to the market, and we should compete with these new tankers. And this definitely also affects product tanker secondary prices. As you see, also secondary prices of vessels are down if we compare December and if we compare May. Also, last week we got very fresh information that 2 vessels which are very similar to our were sold together for 46 million US dollars, so it's a record low price, and we're afraid to say that, but this could be a new benchmark for the whole market. So, how Latvian shipping company fits in this market? We are quite confident that our time charter agreements will provide us stable cash flow, so we are protected against this downturn. However, if we look at our contracts, then in middle range segment, approximately 50% of our contracts will expire this year. So we don't know what will be the new rates of these contracts which will expire, but we know that existing 50 will generate good income. For handy size, 80% is covered, and only 20% is in spot market. In nearest future, we do not expect impairments for the fleet, but as I already mentioned in previous slide, we see that secondary prices for vessels are going down, so it could affect also valuations of our vessels. But currently, we are confident that our fleet reflects the market. A few words about our non-shipping segment. It's Lasco Investment, which is owner of real estate assets. As we have stated and explained many times, this is not our core business, and we have intention to dispose these assets. So we are actively working with direct buyers, brokers, investment bankers to achieve this, and we managed to sell the property Leistiezumi. This deal was finalized in April, and currently we are actively working with Darījuma centrs Daugava, which is former Presnams, and Rīgas Līcis. And we hope that we will manage to dispose these assets this year. So, in short, this is main events, what happened in Q1. Your questions are welcome. Thank you.
Ģirts, Santa, thank you for the presentation. And now we will proceed with the questions in the order that they were received. A reminder to those who haven't yet submitted their questions, you can do it in the questions section in the settings panel zone. As I see, we haven't yet received any questions, so we'll give you a couple of minutes to type them in. Please do so. While we're waiting for the questions, a reminder that the recording of the webinar will be available after the webinar ends in Nasdaq Baltic YouTube channel and also in Latvian Shipping Company announcements. So follow the news. Okay, we have received our first question. So question to Ģirts and Santa. How does your audit committee perform surveillance activities of Latvian Shipping Company? Do they have regular meetings and perform continuous monitoring over the company, or do they only do the financial reports audit? Ģirts, Santa.
Thank you for the question. Very good question. Audit Committee of Latvian Shipping Company is meeting regularly, not only once a year. Last year, if I'm not mistaken, it was 3 times. So Audit Committee goes through also all the actual problems and situations, and it's not only annual results and not only before annual accounts are released. This year, Audit Committee up till now had 1 meeting, but they have intention to meet again at the beginning of the autumn, and then let's see whether there will be need for additional meeting.
Thank you, Ģirt, for an answer given. Let's wait 1 more minute to see whether there are any more questions. It seems we have provided all answers to the question that our attendees had. So, Ģirt, Santa, thank you for the presentation and the answers given. See you in the next webinar then.